Hey everybody, this is Chris here with Daily Motor, and today we've got the infotainment tour and demo on this 2023 Nissan Leaf and its 8-inch Nissan Connect touchscreen infotainment system. Before we get started with all that, let's hop out, take a walk around this car so you can see what we've got today. Now, since this is an EV, I figured we'd shoot it inside the garage today because that gives me a chance to charge it. But otherwise, for the 2023 model year, there are a couple of changes with the Nissan Leaf. We've got a mild facelift. We've got these crazy 30-spoke wheels. I think I counted that right. There's 30 in there. But otherwise, it's pretty much unchanged. But what we'll do today is we'll take a look into the infotainment system. We'll take a brief look at the cluster, and that'll be it. But if you want to know more about the Nissan Leaf, if you're curious about range or the sound system, or to see our full review with our full thoughts on this new 2023 Leaf, make sure to check the links in the description because we will be shooting some other videos on this car this week. So before we get on to this 8-inch touchscreen, let's take a look here quickly at the cluster. So let's go ahead and scroll through some of the different menus that you're able to go through on this cluster. On the right-hand side, we of course just have a normal analog speedometer, but we've got this big screen here on the left that takes up the rest of the cluster. You've got arrows here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. On the right-hand side, these control all of your cruise control functions, which we won't really be able to show off today since we are stationary and parked, but we can go ahead and scroll through here and we can take you through the couple of different things in this Leaf. So the first menu I want to talk about here is this tire pressure monitor, which I quite appreciate because we just had the Nissan Rogue a few weeks ago, and there was nowhere in the car that I could find where you could check tire pressure. So I appreciate that the Nissan Leaf has this function. One up, you can see that we have a digital speedo if you don't want to look at your analog dial there on the right. Oh, also there you have what song you're listening to. You can see I've got Apple CarPlay plugged in. One up from that, you can see all of your driver aids and what you have turned on. And one up from that, you can see if you have cruise control turned on, it'll give you a bunch of different little icons here to see, well, do you have steering assist and everything else on, but we are in park right now, so nothing there. We have a number of different menus we can scroll through here, going from left to right. There's our charge menu. You can see how much of a charge we have. We're at about 83% right now. Media tab, navigation tab. We've got an eco tab here with a couple of different menus. We were just in the main one, the information tab with the most options. And then over here on the right is the settings menu. These you can go through different settings for your cluster. All right. Cool. Well, I don't want to bore you with just cluster functionality, so we'll go ahead and switch over to this 8-inch Nissan Connect infotainment screen. So what you're looking at right now is the home screen. You're able to get there just by pressing this home or menu button. That'll take you back to home. Also, as far as physical buttons go, on the left-hand side of the screen, we have a map button, which of course takes you to your map. We have a quick day or night mode switch there, which is actually more apparent when you're in the map setting. It takes you to either a white or a black screen. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this function because sometimes at night, you drive all day, you want your screen to be bright, you get in the car at night and the screen is blinding. So it's cool to just have this function here to set this thing into night mode. Of course, it does have an auto function, but still, sometimes even with auto functions, in my opinion, the screen still is too bright. Right below those, we have a button for audio, which of course will take us to Apple CarPlay because I have my iPhone plugged in, but if we unplug my phone, then it'll take you to the radio. So whatever your dominant function is there for audio, that is where this audio tab will take you. Go back home here. Oh, also, if you double press it, it'll take you to what source you actually want. And of course, we have AM, FM, Sirius XM, our USB ports, Bluetooth audio, and our phone projection, which right now is Apple CarPlay. Okay, you also have a back button up there in the upper left-hand corner, but for me, the easiest way to get home is just to press the home button. Finally, as far as physical controls go on the left, we have a volume knob here, as well as a power on and off switch for our audio. Skipping over the touchscreen here just for a second so we can talk about these physical buttons here on the right-hand side. We have a button for our cameras, which beeps for some reason, but you can see we have a 360 camera and our front camera there. Press it again, you get your right-hand side camera. You can see the just barely the front of my M Roadster there. and press it one more time to go back to home. Additionally, we have these arrows here. If you want to skip through some songs, you can do that over here on the right-hand side. You can also use that if you are in Sirius XM. You can use it to skip through stations. You've got a general back button here, which will just take you back. And then right below that, you have a tune knob to tune through your different stations. Whether you're on FM, AM, or Sirius XM, that is able to take you through whatever you'd like to do. Convenient for if you have a passenger in the car, they want to change the radio station, they have a quick access way to do that right there with this tune knob. Let's go ahead and go back home so we can scroll through these couple of home screens. So, to the left-hand side, we have our first menu. In the middle, we have our second menu. And on the right-hand side, we have our third menu. Now, you're able to actually customize these to look however you'd like them to look. And you can add different widgets or shortcuts in to customize this however you'd like to see it. So say that you want to have Sirius XM here on your left-hand side screen. You simply take Sirius and you drag it down. And as you can see now, we now have, if we go back, we have a quick access way to get to Sirius XM. And you can do that with all of these different widgets and make this look however you want. So on the far left, we have this customized to have two different audio sources, a go home, so whatever saved location for home, we don't have that and we won't be sharing that, but you can have that programmed there. We've got a climate. You can see, well, that isn't, excuse me for touching that. Climate menu is physical, and that is down here. So you can see as I put the fan up, you can see that reflected there onto the screen. In the middle, we have energy usage. Again, remember, this is all customizable, but this is just what we have here on our setup right now. Take a look here into nearby charging stations. We also have that. Point of interest, and then our actual button to customize the home menus. On the right-hand side, we have all of the different blue tabs for Sirius XM Sports, Traffic, Movie Listing, and Stocks. We also have weather right here in the middle. You can see right now it is 52 degrees out. It's a little bit chilly. Another good reason to be in the garage today because it is quite cold outside. Okay, so those are our main screens here. If you scroll all the way, it'll take you back and go in a circle, which is kind of nice. You don't have to scroll all the way back in one direction. At the bottom, we have, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different tabs. On the far left is your phone projection, which right now is Apple CarPlay, as I've said a million times. One to the right of that is our info tab. This will take us to our EV info and all of those other Sirius XM features. But let's take a look here into EV info. We can take a look at our energy usage. You saw that already because we had a shortcut to that. I'm showing you guys all of the long cuts now if you don't have shortcuts to things. These are the longer ways to get to things. So there's all of our EV settings. All of your Sirius XM things are in here as well, which there are a ton of different tabs. Audio, which will take us to Sirius XM since that's what we have selected as our main source right now. You can do all of your normal Sirius XM things in here. When you go into your audio tab, though, you get opened up at the bottom. You have AM, FM, and Bluetooth audio become your bottom tabs in the middle. Use our back button here to go back. Or not. I guess we're going to use the home button. In the middle, of course, menu, which is just what we're on right now. One to the right of that is our map. You can see our in-house navigation screen here, which doesn't look like it lets you move it around, but we can zoom in and out as a gauge for how fast things react. If you guys haven't noticed already, the system is a little bit laggy. It's not the smoothest system I've ever operated in the world, and also it does seem a little bit dated. I know this is a 2023 car, so technically it is from the future, but yeah, the infotainment feels a little bit dated, just because this is a pretty standard Nissan infotainment that we've been seeing for quite a while. Connections tab here, if you have a phone, Bluetooth, USB, you can see my phone is in there for Apple CarPlay. And on the far right, we have our settings tab. You can customize all of these different things in here or change different settings. There's another way to get to your cameras in here, there's another way to adjust, and you can see your cameras here to adjust brightness, contrast, tint, color, and black level. So So that'll just about do it for the in-house infotainment here. We'll take a look in just a second, more in depth to Apple CarPlay and then Android Auto. There's all of your audio settings there. We'll go back to menu here and we'll take a look here into Apple CarPlay. No wide view here, just 4 apps across, 2 apps down. But what I will say is that Apple CarPlay reacts quite a bit faster than the regular infotainment. You can see that we have a higher refresh rate and things just overall react quite nicely here. Here is Waze. Take a look here into Spotify. Actually, I want to see if this back button... Oh, yes. Okay, good. So here's Spotify. Let's see, now playing. You can also use your tune knob to go around here. I don't know really why you'd want to do that, but if that's what you want to do, then you're able to do that. You can click with it as well. Okay, let's go ahead and go out to charge point. That's pretty important when you are using an EV. Can see where different charging stations are. Well, this doesn't seem like it wants to be loading currently, but this is, oh, there you go. You can see our different chargers here nearby in the ChargePoint app, and let's take a look here at Google Maps as well. All right. Sweet. Well, as you can see, Apple CarPlay reacts quite a bit faster than just the regular infotainment. I'll give you a look here at this refresh, and then we'll go ahead and go home, and you can see how long it takes for this to react. Anyways, let's go ahead and unplug the iPhone and plug in the Android phone. Welcome to Android Auto. There we go. Inactive phone, so we aren't able to see certain things in here, but here is Android Auto. Also reacts a little bit faster than just the regular infotainment system. Oh, it's telling me that the phone has a low charge. Well, is it not charging right now? I don't know. Let's look at YouTube Music. Looks like, yep, you can use your tune knob to scroll back and forth on here as well. All right, well, there you go. As far as Android Auto goes, it is a full screen display. We don't have a split screen, 4 apps across, and however many down, however many you have, but 4 apps across here. And refresh rate seems to be pretty nice here on Android Auto as well. Let's see how fast things react. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and go back to our menu and wrap this up. So overall, not a bad infotainment system. The actual in-house system itself, the Nissan Connect, I think it's really due for an update. This is a very similar system to what we had in the Rogue. It's just about an inch smaller. And honestly, it seemed to react and behave a little bit better in the Rogue. This seems to be a little bit of a lower quality system here in the Leaf. And I mean, it's not a bad system. And with phone projection, you're not really using this stuff anyways. But, you know, it gets the job done. And I haven't really had any problems with freezing, black screen, and or any sort of really bad lag this week. So as far as I'm concerned, it's an okay infotainment system. And when you actually put phone projection on there, it does a pretty good job as well. So that'll wrap it up for us today. If you guys are curious to learn about this sound system in here, range of the Leaf, or a full review, again, make sure to check links in the description to access all of those videos. But this will wrap up our infotainment portion today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Chris here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.